Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
Coach Unplugged is brought to you by great people over at teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. Here is your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, happy Hump Day, episode 564. I don't know why people, I know why they call it Hump Day, but I'm not sure what makes Wednesday any different than the rest of the week. Today we're going to give you a short little clip, about an 8-minute clip of office hours for things that we do in teachhoops.com. So come over and join us. Office hours, one-on-one calls, all those great things that you can be part of. Also go over and check out Dr. Dish, the number one shooting machine on the market. You will not be disappointed. Go over and check them out. And like I said yesterday, go over and subscribe and like to our podcast and leave a review. I read every one of them. I would really appreciate them if you like these podcasts. It's one way that you can give back to the podcast and give back to our community. So go over and check that out, and let's head all to the podcast. All right. Hi, everybody. No one's shown up yet. It's 6 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is answer a couple questions that teachhoops.com members had, and then if someone jumps in here, we'll take their questions too. Question number 1, best way to get kids to watch the ball on defense in man-to-man so they can switch and rotate. So I always talk about happy fingers. So when I'm teaching them to be able to watch the ball, I always make them point to the ball and to their man. If you ever come to one of my practices, you'll hear me say butt to the basket, because a lot of times they'll get turned, and it doesn't matter where you're on the court, you want your butt to the basket, because you want to protect the rim. But as far as them being able to watch the ball on defense, I'm always having them point at the ball and their man, especially when they're starting out. It's kind of like, like the old Wild Wild West with 2 guns there kind of thing, and always have them pointing. And that will allow them to get kind of those rotations and to be able to see things from both ends, to be able to see both the ball and their man. That's why they call it ball you man. It's that small little triangle that you always make. But butt to the basket is a big teaching point that I think coaches at any level can do. You always want your butt to the basket. You always want to be as low as the lowest man. So those things. That's question number 1. Number 2 is how do you get young players to fill the ball and to read and react? So I think that question, Coach, I'm answering a couple questions here that I had people email me. How to get young players to fill the ball and read and react. So what I do is I use painter's tape to put all the spots on the floor. And then when it's a lot easier for them to fill those specific spots. So I'm always talking about, it doesn't really even matter what offense, you probably have key spots that you want them to be in. So I use painter's tape because you can put that on basically any floor and rip it up and it won't do any damage to it. And I use like 5 for me for read and react, whether we're doing 5 out, 0 in, or 4 out, 1 in. I'll put those X's down, and I'm always kind of emphasizing that they get to one of those spots. My guys don't even do that, and we've been running it for a long time. Waiting for cutters. So when we teach read and react, we're basically I've simplified it down to you pass, you cut, and you find somebody to screen. It is literally that simple. So you pass to one, and obviously they got to fill the spot. So we were just talking about, but it's not if you watch NBA or NCAA, most of them are pretty simple offenses. There's ball screens, there's horn sets, there's all those different things. But what you really want to do is, what do you do if you have the ball? If you don't have the ball, you should be moving and filling a spot. If you do have the ball and you pass it, then you're going to cut to the basket. We've shortened that cut to 1 or 2 steps. And then the next thing is, so you pass, you cut, and then we set some sort of screen at that point. So those are the things. I'm just answering some questions that people asked before. My audio isn't working. All right. Here, Eric. What are your thoughts on attacking a box in one when the one is our point guard? Or if it's a big. So we actually had this problem a couple ways. So I like to do two things when someone's running a box and one at me. I bring them toward the ball. So if it's a point guard, then I'm going to bring somebody up and screen, and I'm going to make them make choices. You can also use them as a decoy and get them away, and then basically play a 4-on-4 game. Now, it depends on what kind of box and one that they're running. If they're running one, then they're full denying. Then I tend to put them, I'll either have them ball screen. I'll have them do something with the guy that doesn't. So if you're being boxed in one and they're following, let's say they're following me around, I might come set a ball screen and then make them make a decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to help on that ball screen, or are you not going to help on that ball screen? So I'll bring them to the ball sometimes. I'll also, put them in a corner, put them in a high, and basically do a four out. If it's a big, it would work the same way. The question is, can you win if that person doesn't score? And hopefully the answer is yes. If you can't, then you have to get some motions where they can get some screens to be able to get open. Because if you're screening the person that's being boxed in one, again, people are going to have to make decisions. Are they going to help on it, or is that person just chasing in full denial? So I think those are the two things that I've done in the past that have worked really well. I love when people box in one or triangle in two, because then it becomes a 4-man game at that point. So I'm okay with that. It's just if it's your point guard and they're bringing it up, I would definitely think like a horn set where you put two guys at the elbow, maybe set some ball screens. That way they can they're basically playing one-on-one, and you're guarding me. Great. And then how are those guys in the top of the box going to react? Are they going to help on that really good player, or are they not going to help? And then the person that's kind of setting that screen on the top of the box in one can roll, because there's going to be space. What we have done too is kept them at the top and just run a motion where we got everybody kind of cutting through that zone. Because again, if the person they're boxing wanting is cutting and the rest of them are cutting, it's a difficult task. Does that make sense? So put over in the chat if you have any follow-ups to that. Yeah, the motion, I'm telling you, I like we run a wheel set where we have guys just kind of cutting through, but I like a lot of cuts. First of all, zones don't like cuts, they don't like movement. So even if the guy is getting boxed in one is cutting through, if everyone's cutting through, eventually you're trying to find open space. I tell guys it's like driving a truck. If you drive to that open space, drive to where there aren't bodies. That's the same thing with the cutting. And if you do that, then there tends to be a lot more openings. It's good. Look at it, Eric. Look at it at the other way, in the sense that you have a player that that they're boxing and wanting. That's good. Usually it means they can play. If someone's willing to do that, that you have somebody. I'm reading this last question I got from a member here. How to get similar age kids to wait for the cutter before driving. So, the driving part of the read and react is great. I sometimes take that away at the younger ages. I have a variation, which our read and react is kind of a fist, and our when we want to dribble or quote unquote dribble drive, we'll call it like open hand. So I kind of take dribble away from them. Otherwise, they're always dribbling, and we're clogging up that space for the cutting and the read and react. So I hope Steve, that answered all your questions. Eric, you have anything else? I didn't know if this would be a good time. I'm gonna try one-on-one calls next week, and then I'm gonna try some different times for office hours, just to see if different times of the day or things work better for people. But let me know if you have any other questions over there, Eric, on the side. All right, let me know, Eric. You can always email me too if you have any questions. All right, I'm gonna end this one, and we'll talk soon. Bye. Hey, Coach, hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe and like. Leave a written review. We love those written reviews a lot. Also, I would ask that you work on your craft, just like we ask our players to work on their craft. Go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. And then if you're going to do any shopping, click that Amazon link down below. Use that, bookmark that. All right, talk to you soon.